Let's talk about Matilda of Scotland, the wife of Henry I. Matilda was born to Malcolm III, the King of Alba, and Margaret of Wessex. Alba is Scotland, by the way. Margaret was the granddaughter of Edmund Ironside, the Anglo-Saxon King of England, and the daughter of Edward the Exile. Matilda isn't even her real name. She was born Edith, but it was too Anglo-Saxon, so when she became Queen of England, she took on the name Matilda after the Conqueror's wife, Henry's mother. The Norman lords thought a queen with an Anglo-Saxon name would be a little too outrageous, so having a more considerable name would be better. And long before Edith became Queen of England, both William II and Henry desired to marry her. And it is said that Edith was veiled by her aunt to try and prevent William II from lustfully obtaining her. When it comes to her physical appearance, we don't have many accounts because she often covered her face with a veil, but those that did see her said that she was the most beautiful creature to ever lay their eyes upon. And a really interesting thing about Edith is that she was veiled, and she could have taken her vows and stayed a nun, but she chose to marry Henry. One of the first things Henry did when he became King of England was seek out a marriage to Edith. By all accounts, he truly loved her. I did forget to mention that her mother was canonized as a saint. She is called Saint Margaret of Scotland. And Edith really took on her mother's very saintly piousness. She was so good to her people. They called her the Good Queen Maud. She founded 2 leprosy hospitals, and in one account, she was washing a leper's feet and kissed it. And this offended the person who saw this. And they went to chastise her, and in response, she was like, I was chosen by God himself to be Queen of England. Everything I do is his command, therefore everything I do is right. Wonderful woman. Now, Matilda did give Henry 2 children. She gave him William Adeline and Matilda of England, or the future Empress Matilda. And Empress Matilda's real name is also not Matilda, it's Athelise. It's an Anglo-Saxon name. But it was only said to that by her father, mother, and brother. Only her close family members called her that. Her baptismal name was Matilda, though. Also, I wanted to note that Henry had fathered most of his bastards before he even married Edith, Matilda. Also, Matilda didn't visit the bedchamber often. It's believed because of her saintly behavior or that she simply didn't enjoy going to there. They also didn't sleep together, but they did have such a deep love for one another. Henry was very devastated when she passed away. He even took on a vow of chastity after her death. And when I think of kings who've had mistresses, I often take that as like they didn't love them, they didn't respect them. But in this case with Henry, I wouldn't say so because he was a very lustful man, and Matilda's she didn't match that, but he still loved her nevertheless. Queen Matilda is also one of the first examples of England having a queen being a part of her daughter's marriage proposal. She was instrumental in helping the marriage proposal between Matilda, her daughter, and the Holy Roman Emperor Henry to establish. Matilda was 12 years old the last time she ever saw her mother before her husband summoned her to come and live with him. Henry also entrusted the regency of England to Matilda multiple times throughout his reign. Henry did see his own mother, Matilda of Flanders, successfully rule Normandy and England as regent, and so that gave him, full belief that his wife could do it as well. And we also see that he knew his daughter could rule as well when he declared her as heir. Henry, in my opinion, is also an early example of a feminist because he truly believed that women were capable of ruling successfully just as well as a man. She also held lands in London that was encouraged by Henry himself. Matilda was highly educated and a patron of the arts as well. By the way, I forgot to mention she didn't like sleeping with Henry because he snored, apparently. Another thing I forgot to add is that her sister is the mother of Matilda of Boulogne, the wife of Stephen of Blois. The man who usurped Empress Matilda's throne. The Normans were so messy. And by Christmas 1117, her health was failing, and in one of her last acts of queen, she founded a leprosy hospital. And on May 1st, 1118, she passed away, and Henry was still in Normandy when she died. Chroniclers noted that the king was suffering from great heaviness at his queen's passing. And in another record said, nothing happened to trouble the king save the death of his queen. And his grief manifested in a lot of gifts. He paid for 47,000 masses for her soul to be saved. And at her funeral, it was said that 68,000 poor people were fed at the king's expense. She was laid to rest in the Confessor's Church at Westminster. There was even some belief that her tomb had holiness, and that if you were to touch it and be around it, that saintly things would happen to you, like miracles. Her brother, King David of Scotland, really did try to canonize her as a saint, but that just never happened. And this was partly due to the fact that Stephen, the now King of England, didn't want his enemy's mother canonized as a saint. Just another reason to hate Stephen more. Anyways, I'm Tabitha. I teach about the nobility of medieval England. If you like this, drop a comment below and ask me anything you like.